Hello and welcome to another episode of the DewatchPod podcast. I am your host, Jorgen Smorgasbord.
And I am Jim with a G, and we're returning with more Love, Death, Robots, now hitting season 2, which unfortunately doesn't rhyme anymore.
Yeah, and pray tell, Jim, which episode did we watch today?
It's called Snow in the Desert, and I never said anything else last episode.
That's right.
I am
we're
great at
never
episode
wrong.
titles.
We're smart, we're handsome,
I mean,
and we forget nothing.
Now, it would be funny to go back and edit the previous episode and have me say, snow, instead. The
Yeah.
least subtly edited correction. Anyway, yeah, so as I said, we're correct about everything. And
Yeah.
in fact, we are correct about whether or not you should watch this episode, which is a...
Yeah.
I don't think it's very good.
It's like so... Listen, the thing about Love, Death, Robots is that it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, you're
So,
right.
like, the amount of episodes that, like, get over the line on, like, yeah, no, it's 15 minutes. Like, you're gonna, like, have a time that's not unpleasant.
You could lose 15 minutes scrolling about something you do not give a shit about. So, like, yeah, if you're gonna do this instead, I would say yes, but also, like, if you're making conscious decisions, you can spend these 15 minutes in a better place.
Like, if you have, like, something important to do, you shouldn't be like, but I have to catch snow in the desert. I better postpone my wedding preparation for 15 more minutes. Like, no, like, if it's, no matter, like, how long the, like, important task, like, you could be working on it for 15 extra minutes, and it's gonna give you more in life than having
Yeah.
some snow in the desert.
It's fine. I
Yeah.
think that's fundamentally my view on this episode, is that it's very bog standard, rugged sci-fi
Yeah.
in the broad sense. Now, I have my annoyances with the episode that I'm sure we'll get to, but like, it doesn't break that mold,
Yeah,
right?
no.
This feels like it could be like a genuine pilot for like a, hey, we didn't get The Expanse, we didn't get Firefly, so we made our own thing, and we didn't put as much effort into it, but it is here.
And yeah, of course, we do have some content warnings for you, should you go on our somewhat lukewarm recommendations, and we can promise you there will be gore,
Sex,
death,
mention of suicide.
and torture.
Now, I wanna say, like, of these, there's always some variety in the focus of these episodes. This one is like, if there's a word cloud, gore is just like sweeping all the other word clouds aside, you
Well,
know?
and sex is like pretty
blip.
big, but
What?
the
Really?
rest, yeah, they have sex
I mean, is there
twice in 15 minutes.
I don't think they do. I think they had sex once.
Yeah, but like they get sexy another time.
It's bad horny.
There's 3 sexy scenes.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and they're all bad.
But yeah, to go through it a bit,
We find ourselves on a desert planet.
yeah,
Dune is also another clear inspiration here, by the way.
sort of,
But like, not importantly.
aesthetically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like we have like an opening shot of like a lone wandering coming into town, and there's water thieves being executed by being put in like a glass bulb. I think.
I think they're like
Um,
expiring
yeah.
in there. It's a very Mos Eisley type of place we're getting into.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Oh, come on, it's the one fucking Star Wars town that's like a wicked hive of scum and villainy or whatever.
They're all the same to me.
I know they're all the same. That's why I picked the one that's extremely representative, because they're all the same.
And he's like, the moment I knew that I would not like this episode that much was when our rugged lone wanderer like comes into town and like talks to a guy, and it's like just extremely rude to this merchant who's like just trying to like be a bit jovial and upsell him a little bit.
Yeah. I saw something change on your face there, and I don't think I quite realized.
Yeah, no, it's just like, oh no, this is like, we have an asshole protagonist and like a rugged asshole white guy. And let me tell you, boy is he white, because he's an albino!
It's gonna be our best episode of the podcast yet. I can feel it.
Which is also why he's named Snow.
Yeah.
Um,
Not
and-
Ice, which some people would confuse his name with
yeah,
that
but
of
not
Ice.
us.
Not us.
Because Ice is famously like more blue than white, so it doesn't really make sense anyway.
Yeah.
It depends, of course, on the composition of the ice and what kind of impurities are in there.
Yeah. I think the only thing we get with the merchants is just like a mention of Earth being far away. So we've sorted this into the bin of sci-fi stories where Earth exists.
I'm
Boom.
not gonna lie, that completely passed.
It's
me
not
by.
important.
No.
He then goes to a bar, and I think this is why I have Mos Eisley on my mind, because this is a full-on cantina, right?
Oh yeah.
Less jovial, like it's a more modern cantina in the
Yeah.
sense that it's more run down.
And just to like pull it all out there, like this is a Western, right?
Yeah,
like, that's the other like type of thing that this is.
Firefly is, I think, a very strong comparison in that sense.
Well, I think Firefly, like, as loath as I'm to speak well of any of Joss Whedon's work, like it does just have like more social elements than this one.
Well, none of the comparisons I'm going to make to other sci-fi work are with Snow in the Desert as the one who comes out on top, but let's be clear about that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we have like a fun little bit of world building because like he gets a beer, but it has like a number lock until it is served.
I think I'm being unnecessarily mean, but I would say that's the highlight of this episode. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it's fun world building.
Yeah.
And we like flash past some like wanted posters, which introduce us like extremely like clearly and bluntly to the fact that this man is a wanted person named Snow.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, like there's not going to be like other kind of snow in the desert. Right? It's just going to be this guy. Like this is not a double entendre title.
At some point, like I've obviously, to remind people of what we do here on the pod, like I have watched this show years earlier, right? And as we were like running up there, I was like, is there a different Snow? Like
No.
Like I was like, is that part of like, is there like a substance? Is there like a spice they're looking for? Because again, the Dune inspirations.
No, like
no, it's just him. It's him. He's Snow and he's in the desert.
It's a single entendre. It's like, yeah, no, I guess that's the Snow that's in the desert.
Guy puts down his pen in the writing room. Wouldn't it be fucked up if there was snow in the desert, but the Snow was a guy? Everyone raucously points, that's it!
Like, it's honestly astonishing to me that, like, this is like 15 minutes. Like, and sure, like, writing short things in some ways is, like, harder than writing long things. But, like, damn, like, they're really not getting, like, a good hit rate in there. And, like, I haven't said this on the podcast yet, but, like, I've watched other like elements of Love, Death, Robots.
You tried to go through season 3.
I've seen all of season 3 now.
Yeah, and
front to back, and just like I just really need to say, like, man, fuck John Scalzi. Like, he is so bad. Like, he's like doing like the cutesy smart shit, and like none of it lands. Like, why? Like, why is this man well regarded? Who gave this guy a TV show and then didn't take it away after they saw the stupid robot sketch? Like, it's not smart. It's just references.
I'm shocked that you're bringing out Free Robot. Like, I mean, I don't like Free Robots either, but I'm shocked you're bringing that out and not Kill Team Kill.
Well, he didn't write that one,
I suppose. But yeah, no, fair enough. Let's keep that compact because. There's a reason we are making an anthology out of the anthology, you know? Like, I do think you've seen the worst episode.
yeah.
But I think there's a smattering in that domain.
But
moving on. We're in the
Um,
cantina. He gets his locked up beer that then becomes unlocked. And I want to say, if I'm going to be nice to this episode, I think I kind of like the design of the aliens. I think they're fine. They're not revolutionary. Like they're very much fitting into the mold, right? Of like Star Wars, Mass Effect. Like most of them, they're all humanoid, right?
Yeah, and like they've got like a fucked up like no skin thing going on.
Yeah, Actually, I quite like those because I'm like, I don't know if this is meant to be like a human mutant or something like that, or an
I sort
alien
of
alien.
reckon that's maybe what they're going for, but like it's not at all clear, and that's
Yeah,
fine. But yeah, no, like it's kind of like a fucked up little design,
yeah.
um, which does like add and I want to say add positively to the like sort of like grit angle that
Oh
we're
yeah.
going for here. Um,
I think they, unfortunately, it must be said, I do think they nailed the aesthetic vibe they want to go for. It's just not a very unique aesthetic vibe.
yeah, and also like th- we are coming off having seen and let me draw back the curtain here a little bit. Um,
Again,
we're
best episode of this podcast.
we're just coming off. We're doing a double recording, and we're coming off,
The very pulse of the machine.
which is fucking
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah.
So like you're throwing me into Snow in the Desert, and I'm like, man, this certainly doesn't look as good as the very pulse of the machine.
It is. It is also like, I mean, like the animation is obviously like insanely good in general,
Yeah,
right?
I think they do like a lot of mocap,
Yeah,
and then like build around that basically.
but it does have Call of Duty syndrome to an extent,
Yeah,
right? Like, and I think that legacy is gonna live with us for like at least another decade. It doesn't pop up all the time, but it does pop up here. There's not a
yeah,
lot of color to it, and that's like there's a couple of scenes where I'm like, man, you could have just turned out the vibrancy a bit, and it would look a lot better.
yeah. There's just like it's it's serviceable, but like in a like missed potential
It is
way.
it is technologically and like technically extremely well done.
Yeah, it's
Almost.
technically impressive,
Yeah.
to damn with faint praise a bit.
So we're
Uh,
still in the cantina,
we're
and these
still in the
these
canteen.
fucked up little skinless gremlins come up and go
Yeah,
like,
and they're like bounty hunter, and
yeah,
then they're
all
like,
the
I reckon you're this guy, and he's like, just like full credit here. Like he goes like, no, that's not me. I have a different, also white themed name. Um, which like I think like just like yeah, you go trying to resolve this conflict, and like he never backs down and goes like, nah, you got me. I'm sorry. He's like, listen. First of all, I'm not this guy, clearly lying, but you know, just like go for it. Secondly, I will use violence to defend myself. And third of all, bang!
I think I am a little bit of a fan of people who are like just liars but not putting a lot of effort into it. I think that's a generally good vibe.
And just like to flag like a very small element here, but like the voice acting of like the lead bounty hunter uh is like absolutely peak, because like she's like both being like assertive but also like just like adding that little quiver that's like, I'm really putting myself into a
Yeah.
lot of danger right now. um Not just like shooting this man in the back.
Yeah, like I think there's like a little interesting bit there. I was thinking about in the episode that like she does not. Yeah, first of all, she doesn't do the like shoot in the back, but she also specifically at one point goes like, "I'm declaring I'm going to fight you." Everyone in the cantina heard it, and I kind of like that as like a point of like, first of all, you can't escape, but also now I can't escape.
Yeah, and yeah, no, they're doing like a fair amount of work, just putting down like this lady's kind of green.
Yeah, and then
Um,
she gets shot in the head,
yeah,
probably.
and the mercenaries are quickly dispatched up, except for one big guy with a shotgun who just
Blasts
like
of
blasts like amputates Snow's arm with a single shotgun blast.
I think I kept thinking about this episode as like a video game, right? Because that's like a yeah, we put like the different sections of the arm that can be blown off, and this is perfectly at like node 3 out of 4, just like
Yeah.
this chunk just at the
And let
elbow.
me tell you, Node 4 has taken 100% damage.
It is
And
obliterated.
this is the chance to introduce character 2, because this episode basically has two
Actual characters.
actual
Yeah.
characters. Which is the foil to man, woman. Who knives the shotgun mercenary in the back once Snow's on his like
Yeah.
last legs and is like, hey, what up? You good? Alright, gonna see you later in the desert.
Second good scene of this episode is where Snow reaches out his right hand to shake hers, and he goes, "Oh right, yeah, it was recently amputated."
Yeah, no, like there's and that's like good in multiple way because it foreshadows that this is not that big a deal.
Yeah,
Because he is like just like all right, just gonna wrap that up immediately, uh just completely no selling, having
yeah.
lost like his forearm up to like almost the elbow.
I will say, like, I understand why you don't like this protagonist, and I'm with you. But I
Yeah.
will say, I think there's a little bit because I think they're doing space western. This is the cool, like, I've been on the run for
Yeah.
decades, man, and like I don't care about you bounty hunters. But I like that that's balanced with the fact that like he does have his arm blown off, like,
Yeah.
and he was about to get like shot in the head. Like this
Yeah.
is he's a badass, but he's not like, oh, I've never broken a sweat in a fight.
Yeah,
Like no,
no,
he has the capacity to lose fights.
they are yeah, no, like they immediately dial like gruff asshole back down like just a
Yeah,
bit. Um which is fairly redeeming, I'll say.
yeah.
And yeah, no, we kind of head to the desert when like I don't I don't remember. I only remember Snow's name because he's in the title. Uh
She says her name and it begins with an H, and I was like, I did not catch that.
yeah.
Lady meets up with Snow. He's like
Yeah.
having like beans out in the desert as like the dawn is coming, I think.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to travel with you. And he goes, I guess.
Yeah, no, he is like less antisocial than we've been led to believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, and we learn that and this is just like pure world building that doesn't like accomplish anything mechanically to but like
Yeah.
it's nice. And it's like, oh yeah, no, it's the day tent. Um which I just to nitpick a tiny bit.
Uh-huh.
In a world where you use a tent in the day,
Yeah.
you probably just called it a tent. Um,
This is my water boat.
but yeah, no, they both sleep in the day tent. It's got like a like
Well,
cold
diffusion.
dispersion.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a
it's got like
atmospheric sprinkler.
wafty it's got like wafty like white blue lines
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
off it to let us visually understand that it's very cold
This
because
is
blue is the coldest color
this is
actually
true,
in
which is why it's
color
associated with
temperature.
Ice, our protagonist of this episode.
um and
This is unfortunately the first of our sexy scenes.
yeah, no, we could just get like a little bit of like gazing back and forth.
Yeah, it's
um
I don't like it. I,
it it doesn't irk me as much as it irks you, I
no,
think.
I know. I am generally more sensitive to this,
Hmm.
but I think the thing is that they have no fucking chemistry,
Well,
to my reckoning.
sure.
Like, I understand it's hard to establish in 15 minutes while you're doing a
Yeah,
lot of other stuff, but I guess I would just rather they don't.
yeah,
But that's me. Like, I don't even think this is fully a strike against the episode.
yeah,
I squirm.
yeah. And after like a bit more wandering, she's like, so, now the mercenaries did like want to steal your balls,
Yeah.
which is established earlier,
Yeah.
and she's like, now I'm in the same game, but I'm not like a
I'm
violent
not weird
person.
about your balls.
Can I have like maybe one ball?
I'm a negotiator. I've read
Yeah.
Art of the Deal here.
And he's growing his arm back at this point, which I don't think is like remarked upon as much as it probably ought to be.
I think it's more like she looks, gives it a long look, and I think we kind of see that it's starting to like shape into like a hand
Yeah.
with its digits, so I guess that's enough.
But like if I understand the episode correctly, like that is like more of a big deal later on.
Yeah.
So like it being revealed now and not remarked upon that hard is confusing
I
in
guess
retrospect.
I guess it's just because she is all like she already knows what's up with him, right? I guess that's
I'm
why.
unclear on whether he knows that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. These two developments happen, and he's like, I don't even think he says I'll think about it, but there's a bit more world building where like Earth is like mostly AIs.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not important.
and
She comes from Earth.
yeah,
She wants to peacefully negotiate the
yeah,
release of his balls, and
yeah,
that's
and
it.
it's got like MacGuffin implications about aging and whatever. And then we reach
To be
his
clear, his he has like a hormone
yeah,
that his body naturally releases that makes him regenerative.
yeah,
That's that central MacGuffin. Then
and
they arrive at this little desert paradise
yeah,
where he, for unclear reasons, just has plenty of water and
yeah.
like a
No, he's just
pool.
got like a paradise fort.
Yeah, and she's like,
Um,
"Wow, cool," and he's like, "Yeah, been here for like 200 years." And she's
I'm
like,
very old because of my hormone.
"Yeah."
And she's like, holy shit. That is the thing we said the hormone could do, but I didn't realize you'd be that old. You must have gotten a lot worse at keeping your cover in the last 10
That's
of 200
that's the
years.
other thing I fucking mean, because like he's being hunted, and they have wanted posters on the planet, and he's just been on the same planet for. I don't know. I'm getting into nitpicking, but I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah, no, it's not big enough that you can like call out inconsistencies like proper because like there's nothing to be inconsistent with. It's just like a little bit confusing at times
Yeah,
what's going on. Anyway, they hook up.
yeah.
It's like a not that long but like somewhat gratuitous sex scene.
Well, I think it's interesting because I think if this episode's creators had to explain themselves, I would say they were making a very sensual scene. Um, but there's also no chemistry, which I'm going to keep harping on.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to stop here for a moment because let's describe the stages happening here. She comes out in a new dress, and she goes like, "Whose dress is this?" And he goes, "My wife, who's been dead for 130 something years.
Yeah,
She
120.
killed herself, by the way, and that's when the sex scene starts. I am not really skipping a beat here.
Yeah.
It's bad.
No, it's I don't know. It like doesn't quite come together.
Listen, if you're
Um,
having a moment, if you're having like a central moment that you feel is leading into something, and then someone drops a suicide mention, it's where you give it a few more minutes at the very least.
uh, but not in the desert. In the
Certainly not.
desert, you gotta get there while the getting's good, I guess. Even though you're in a very safe place. Oh yeah, and the canister he got from the merchant in the beginning is strawberries.
Yeah, it's fresh
It's not
strawberries from Earth.
it's not relevant whatsoever, but it's like nice, I guess.
It's very aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very pure aesthetic. But yeah, then sex scene like leaves. She wakes up in her skivvies, which I actually must have put on after.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Um
Moving on. And she's like, wow, there's an alarm. There's some people here.
yeah.
And there are indeed some people here. They are additional bounty hunters.
Yeah, and basically we have a fight scene where like Snow gets a couple of them, and then he like gets asymmetrically an arm and a leg blasted off.
Yeah, he gets the dude who gets him. Um, then he's confronted by another dude.
And
That's
then like a lady shows up and it's like bang straight through the
Gosh,
dome.
yeah, angel shot of her standing over him. Bang! She gets shot in the head by the last mercenary. Mercenary shows up and goes like, "I don't even understand why you are here, Snow." And then, bam! Arm through his chest.
Well, he does just like monologue for a fair amount.
Yeah,
Um, and then like she gets up and it's like, oh, half robot.
yeah,
And like it sort of seems like a Terminator style, like robot with human skin over
yeah.
the
A
top.
Terminator goes on the inspirations list. It's not a subtle episode.
And then he's like, "Oh, are you an android?" And she's like, "No, I'm just like extremely synthetic because I had like I think she like has part of her spine and most of her brain left in a human
Yeah, I think that's
shape,
it. Yes, she just
and the
has an
rest,
accident.
yeah, and the rest has been cobbled back together." And she's like, "Yeah, no, I've been," and we cut back to the sexy terrace.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, no, I've been alone for a long time as well because I'm part robot, so I guess I probably don't age either.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a bit unclear, but that seems to be the implication.
And also, no, absolutely no resolution on whether he's gonna come back with her to Earth or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's the episode.
yeah.
It's, you know, it exists.
It's like there's a very weird like switch back and forth that happened to me watching. Um, because first it was like, this is a weird age gap thing to do. He's got like white hair.
Oh yeah,
He's like grizzled.
he looks in his 50s at the minimum, right?
And she looks like
Quite young.
like a good looking 30.
Yeah.
Like has been moisturizing 30.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, he has regenerative abilities. So the white hair maybe it's just like the albino stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe he's actually like not that old. And he's like, no, he's way older actually. But so is she. And
Guess what? Secret elf. Guess what? 2 secret elves.
So it is just like getting like it's like age gap, no age gap, age gap, no age gap. Oh, like it just like
The writers
yanks you back and forth and what the size of the age gap is, which like that really should be sort of the central mystery of your plot.
The writers turning the age gap dial while looking at the audience for reactions.
Yeah, no. So I'm going to do a unfavorable comparison here.
And go for it. Go for it.
Mostly just by association,
Uh-huh.
because I've recently seen Limitless.
Oh yeah.
And now this episode is better than Limitless, let me be clear. It's
I have not recently seen Limitless. I saw Limitless like 15 years ago when I had a much worse brain.
Yeah, no, I know we've got perfect brains.
Mildly worse brain.
And
horizontally developing brain.
There's a thing that like that's just been recently on my mind because I've seen Limitless. Where like a narrative medium will just like have like like a physical like action scene that like gets resolved and then go like, all right, and that means the plot is ending. Even though that doesn't really like the action scene doesn't like deal with the plot. It's just like, yeah, no, now that the adrenaline is coming down, we can denouement out of this without like sort of like ending the story. And like it's worse in Limitless because they're setting up a lot of stuff and then just fucking pulling out. I'm firing a lot of shots at other properties today.
I mean, I've been firing shots at this episode and being nice to other properties, so I feel like this is a bit of a
yeah, we're keeping the balance.
Yeah. One of us is the dark side, one of the other is light, and I'm not sure which.
Yeah, it's more like sort of alternating shades of bad. And this episode sort of does that, but like there isn't like a central thing that they're not like closing off.
The thing that resolves by any meaningful sense is that he's no longer lonely. And to be honest, I don't give a shit. With all due respect, like, because I'm like,
well, there isn't any like major thing to dissolve because like the MacGuffin stakes are like not that important to us, right? It's like, yeah, is he gonna keep his balls or not? Whatever.
What's that like? I mean, the scientific implications are great, but also like we have no personal stake. Like, if she was like, I'm actually dying of a terminal disease.
Yeah.
That would be something.
We don't know, like, the wider world that is being affected by his choice, which he hasn't made in this.
To be honest, the vibes I get based on this episode is that everyone dies somewhere between 20 and 40 because they're all doing mercenary work. That's,
Yeah, that's our sample.
That's a statistical sample I have. But, it's also like the thing about, like, we get 2 separate bounty hunters, and there's, like, no implication that that's where it ends, right? There's no like, oh, I'm gonna go underground now. We're like, that was the last one.
I sort of assumed that like the big ship was like the main guy who had put the bounty,
I
but I just
suppose.
like sort of vibed that because like they said the name of the
Yeah,
main
yeah,
guy
you are
and they
right.
said the name of the bounty hunter, and like I didn't remember the name of the bounty giving guy long enough to like be clear as to whether
But I
he's the.
think you're right. But like, why would it just be one guy? You know?
I guess he's kept the information kind of on lock. I don't know, like it's and like it's
I would say there's
like
not
n-
enough information from the world building, but I also don't want them to world build anymore. Quite frankly, I think they've done too much.
yeah,
They needed
no,
to make a
it's
story.
and there's like a tension arc,
Yeah.
and we got an early peak and we got a later larger peak, um and we've got like uh sort of tension being resolved otherwise. I don't know, like it's but like there's not like this is like a purely vibes based story,
Yeah.
any like that's spending like a lot of time doing like world building,
Yeah.
that doesn't like do anything for the like mechanical story, and the mechanical story is like extremely simple.
Yeah. I think
And
that's a fair summary.
yeah, no, it's quite confusing.
I think the comparison we should make, of course, is just that like this is part of the reason Love Death Robots exists is to show off cool animation.
Yeah, which
But
like
this also feels like it did one. There are episodes that are just animation, realistically speaking.
yeah,
And I don't think this is quite there.
no, not at all. Like I mean they get like a few I think they get more beautiful stills in, ironically, right? With
Yeah.
like the desert scenery, they get like a beautiful like skyscape.
Yeah, I mean they're really good at like the dawn shots, I would
Yeah,
say. Like they are very good looking. But when they're not playing with the like lights in the sky, it's mostly just yellow and brown and the occasional touch of green for contrast.
and like I think I'm like a bit harder on this like artistically as well, because like this type of visual like doesn't do that much for me. It's like, oh yeah, no, like sort of almost realistic human faces. It's
Mm.
like, are you trying to apply to make more video game cutscenes? Like
I mean
it's
that's where this would fit in, and I think it would fit in well,
yeah.
but it's a different perspective when you're watching a show, right?
Yeah, and yeah, no, I'm not sure I can like wring any more water from the stone.
No. I mean I was like while we were watching this, I was kind of having to like I think this is the one that makes the most sense to take from season two, along with the other one, which we'll get to. But it was like when we were sitting down, it's kind of like starting to have like deer in the headlights of like, what the fuck are we gonna talk about? I was like running. I was like, well, there's stuff about like immortality and like loneliness, but like it's not saying much. It's more like something being immortal is lonely, and I'm like, yeah, no, I've heard that one before.
Yeah, and
That's there are a lot of stories to talk about that, but even then, it's never like the main piece for a reason.
I mean I do like that it's like, oh yeah, no, this guy's technically immortal and he's like an extremely regular guy who gets
Yeah.
like, he's clearly got like a fair amount of combat experience.
Yeah, but
Um
there are limits to what that can do
there
for
are
you.
hard limits to how far that gets him. And clearly being a robot partly is probably better for your survivability.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, no, it's but yeah, no, it's I think it is like a fairly like I do just like that is a very banal vision of immortality. It's like, yeah, no, this guy clearly doesn't know what to do with this.
I do think like there's something to be said. Like I quite like this type of rugged sci-fi, broadly
Yeah.
speaking. Like I like the sort of like dinky stuff when it comes to
Mm.
like visions of the future and stuff like that. Um, what I think is because it's kind of like a comparison between like high and low fantasy,
Mm.
right? Like there's a similar thing in sci-fi. Like what's the majesty, what's the grandeur of the
Yeah.
society in the future? And one of the things is sometimes it feels like if you're doing this sort of like rundown type of sci-fi, like Firefly or whatever,
Mm.
people just like don't want to do anything particularly high concept because they feel
Yeah.
like that inherently breaks the rundownness. I don't
Mm.
think that's necessarily true, right? Like I think those are two different axes.
I mean, as a connoisseur of the genre, like, sort of, what are the thematic things that, like, you think it sort of strongly, like, advances?
This episode?
No, no, the genre. I'm mostly looking for things that this episode should be doing that it's not.
Well, we're talking about sci-fi as a whole, or this sort of more like low.
The low grade, the
I mean, I feel
dinky.
like a lot of it ends up being a lot more political, right? Like it's a
Mm.
lot of more like the bridge to cyberpunk is quite close as well. So like very
Yeah,
frequently you'll start getting talk about like body modification stuff like that. Um, so I think those are the like two main things, and then
yeah,
usually like there's an element where eventually no one can hold it in their pants for long enough, so you'll get like the expanse is also here. There will eventually be a world-ending threat, and a lot
yeah.
of times that will be like aliens or some shit like that. And I think that's just a different thing because that's where like you go like, oh shit, we have to make a bigger plot instead of like this, where it's kind of like, yeah, there's immortality, but that doesn't make a guy into like a god in any
Yeah,
sense. Yeah, there are, as you say, like hard limits to what you can do with that. I think that's the sort of like in between that's interesting, where you're like actually exploring these sort of like fairly revolutionary conclusions of
hmm.
sci-fi without just making it a central world-ending plot.
Yeah. I guess that is something that the episode doesn't fall short on.
Yeah, I would agree. Um, I wish it had more of a general plot.
Yeah, no, like it's odd because like I wonder like how much like this does just like seem like the sort of thing that's like uh might be set in the setting that someone has like poured over for like 10 years.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, obviously, we only have 15 minutes. So what about like a quick love story between a man with immortal balls and um an ambassador from the Terran Mandate? Uh and of course she is part robot because that's what
because
Earth is
obviously,
like.
yeah,
And
it
he's
naturally
an
follows.
albino for no relevant reason,
That's a
but
good
it'll
point.
make a good name.
They never I think in my
I
head,
think he's just an albino.
I think he's just like I think in my head, like if you drew out sort of like the ambient thoughts in my head, I would have said he's an albino because he's immortal. But I don't think that's ever actually implied or
No,
makes sense.
yeah, no, like
I think he's an albino and he's immortal.
I think this episode falls down in a quite unique way, where like usually you will have this sort of thing, and it'll be like, ah, yeah, no, and obviously we're going to focus on this faction leader who has to make like complicated decisions, and it sort of like um sort of loses touch a little bit fast, and here
Yeah.
we're just like, oh yeah, no, we're not going to engage with like the world building much. Um,
It's like I will say, like as a final point, it is bizarre how much it feels like they're doing with the world building and how nowhere it leads.
yeah,
Like you don't need the whole water thing. Nothing like the whole like the Terran mandate has sent me an AI here.
which to
Whatever.
be clear, I'm not sure if it's called
No, I
that.
know, I know. I was like, it's come on, it fits.
Yeah,
I think they might even say whatever the polity is,
yeah,
but
no,
I
it's
forget.
like it's a weird AI polity.
But it's like one of those things where like what it is bounty hunters are looking for a guy with a genetic alteration. Done.
Yeah,
There's a backwater desert planet. Shocking. He's hiding there. Cool. Like none of this the extra world building is kind of cool. Genuinely.
yeah.
Like it's not
But like,
revolutionary.
what it does for the plot is set up like a little bit that she's a robot later, and you're like, oh, I guess she is from the robot
And
world.
even that is like you didn't need that. You could just be like she's a robot and she's acting for some foreign power or person.
Yeah, no, it's
Like if you're hitting me with like if you show me a robot in sci-fi, it doesn't have to come from the robot nation. You can just
yeah,
be a robot. So like it does have the energy
yeah.
of like I think this is also why I said I think it's inspired by Dune aesthetically.
Yeah, no, like also just while we're in the fucking grievance zone,
Yeah, yeah.
just stop it with the desert planets.
I like deserts, and even I'm like, you need to mix it up a bit.
Let's have planets with multiple biomes.
That, and like, at least, listen, I am pro desert. Like, mix in like a steppe or something, you know? Give us a savanna.
Yeah,
Give us some
like,
highlands.
and maybe just like have like a new configuration of biomes that interact in an interesting way. But like it's a fucking planet. You know, it's gotta have light hitting it at different angles. There's gonna be like different intensities of energy put into the environment.
You know, eventually this podcast is going to devolve into its platonic ideal, which is just looking through TV tropes and commenting on which ones we think are bad.
I mean, listen, give us more themes to work with, and we will produce more specific content.
Yeah.
And
else you get into the grievance zone. Welcome, y'all, one and all.
Now, I think we've slightly overstayed our welcome.
Oh no, shit, no.
Do you already know which episode we'll be doing next week, Jim?
Yes, it's called Ice. It's what is it called? It's called Pop Squad. Actually, you saw it while we were selecting.
I did see it.
Yeah. I have grievances already, but don't worry. I don't think that's actually linked to the quality of the episode.
All right. That's it. Thank you for listening, and see you next week for Pop Squad.
See you on the other side on a non-desert planet.